I'm calling Trevor Lawrence a bust.
Wow.
Is there anything about this guy's game that impressed? Like, he looks like Blaine Gabbert to me when he's out there playing.
He strung together a couple good weeks. He did prior to this week. He had strung together a couple.
A good weeks though for him is like what, 325 and 2 touchdowns and a pick. It's just. I just don't see it, and I don't want that to be true. And again, last year, I don't know. Do you call it a wash because Urban Meyer was there, and Lord knows what what he did to that poor guy. But yeah. It's just the little things. It's like his receivers are there. His receivers are in the right spot. He can't throw the ball with touch. It like just throws that you would expect like a superstar or a person that's been drafted to be a game changer, a once in a lifetime, this whole generational talent that apparently comes up 400 times a generation. He was the can't miss prospect. And yeah. I just, some of his throws that I see, I'm just, there's no touch with this ball. Like
do you think he's trying too hard? Is he trying to muscle it in there too much? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, it was just, wide open. I mean, I won't say wide open throws, but, throws to like the, to the end zone, to the pylon, and there's a receiver, there's a defensive person that's in front of him, but his guy's got to step, and you just got to, just put a little air over it. And it's too much of almost like a dart, and it's just getting tipped. And there was just passes, like you saw that with Patrick Mahomes' first year starting. You saw it with Joe Burrow, where you're just like, dang, man, boy, they got touch. There's just not a touch to the ball. I don't know. I mean, he really reminds me of Blaine Gabbert.
Wow.
He can run it. Yeah, he's got a good arm. Maybe it just hasn't all clicked yet. But, I mean, when he was in Clemson, like he was a stud. Everything he did was just perfect. And where you're like, yeah, I mean, tank for that dude. But I don't know, man. I hope be proven wrong on that, but I don't see it right now. I don't see it right now with him. There's nothing to me about him that screams this guy's going to be a superstar. And that's what you drafted him to be.
Very true. So, the only thing that I'll say there is, we got to keep in mind he's had 7 games with a real coach. And that real coach is Doug Peterson, who we do anticipate. I mean, he's done some good work with quarterbacks in the past. And, and I do think there's every possibility that, we'll start to see some change and some improvement there. He's had 7 games with a real coach and a whole new offensive system and everything else. So I don't disagree with what you're saying, but boy, that is a bold early call, which we love on the show. And unfortunately for some of these players, we seem to get them right more often than wrong. But that one's a bold one. Trevor Lawrence being a bust, but you might be right. You might just be right.
I mean, right now he's 10th in yards, 12th in touchdowns, 23rd in picks. It was 10 touchdowns, 6 picks. His QBR's 21st. His passer rating is an 84.8. That's, 90.
So he's dead average, basically.
Yeah, I was going to say probably even a little below average, because you figure an average QB rating is somewhere in the mid-90s most of the time if you're a good to decent quarterback. So, right now he's trending in the middle of the pack. He's 23. He just turned 23. So plenty of time, I suppose. Like I said, I don't want the kid to be a bust. I don't know. The way he carries himself, like, I don't know if he's too laid back. He's kind of got that, like, California surfer vibe thing to him, where do you see scream leadership? Like, I see, I hate to bring up Joe Burrow because I can't stand him, but you see him barking on the sideline. You see him, and I don't see that out of Lawrence. It's like, here's what I have to do. Let me just do my job, and hopefully everyone else does their job. So, again, I hope I'm wrong. So far, I haven't seen anything that's jumped out of the page where you could be like, okay, yeah, that's something to grow and that's something to do, to go. You got the yards, but you got the receivers now too. And there were plenty of times I watched some of that game on Sunday and he had players open. He just either got cold feet, hurts footsteps, and just, or didn't go through enough progressions to be able to get to, Christian Kirk, who you paid a lot of money to be the guy.
True.
He's open. I promise you, he's open. I mean, you even hear the announcers, the commentators like, "Oh, you had him." Like Christian Kirk is wide open here, and so we'll see. We'll see. I don't know.
All right. Well, that'll be something to keep an eye on for sure. So
cue it up. I don't know how much time you give him. I mean, he's gonna, they're gonna pick up his 5th-year option, I'm sure. I mean, this is what now, his 2nd year, so he's got a couple years to pan out and to figure it out. So again, I hope he does. I don't want the guy to be a bust.
Sure.
I feel bad that Jacksonville. I mean, the best quarterback Jacksonville's had at this point. I mean, they've had Mark Brunell. They've had some decent quarterbacks there. Leftwich in his prime, David Garrard in his prime. I mean, good, but just no one that's like, hey, I'm going to be here for 15 years. And,
right, that true franchise defining quarterback. Yeah,
exactly. So, and they drafted him to be that. So we'll see.
Very true. All right, we'll keep an eye on it. So where do you want to go to next?